Oh, hello, and welcome to another Trippy food tale from the vault. Back in 2012, I was invited to attend the LA Weird Food Festival, a depraved dinner party, and I knew that my entry would have to have some sort of impact for me to be invited back. So I had some llama testicles and llama liver that I got from the exotic meat market, and I decided to cook something unique and original. What you're about to see is a production of that dish. I didn't write down a recipe, but be sure to take careful notes. So I've been invited to a weird food fest, which is something that doesn't happen every day. I want to have a good first impression. Basically, I've decided to go South American. And by South American, I mean llama parts. Basically, I have a nice llama liver, a llama testicle. I've got some cilantro, onion, cactus, some grapes, and somehow I'm going to make this into some sort of weird South American dish that hopefully won't taste horrendous. So apparently the first thing I have to do is I have this cactus pad, and the first thing I have to do is actually get these little spines off of it, because the last thing that you want when you want to take a nice juicy bite of some bizarre dish is get a mouthful of cactus spikes. And so basically I'm just going to take a sharp knife, I'm just going to kind of cut into the little dimples or pimples, or whatever you want to call them, and just remove all these little spines. Then I'm going to cut it and parboil the small pieces, and that's going to go in the sauce that's going to go on top of the liver. So I've cut the spines off of it already, which I found is a pretty simple process. It's like taking the eyes out of a potato, which sounds cruel and heartless, but I understand the potato doesn't feel a thing. Be ashamed if we found out that that's not the case, or vegans I think are screwed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut this into small pieces, and then I'll further cut that, and then that's going to go in the sauce. Now the cactus I don't want to use as is, so I'm actually cooking some of the snot out of it. Anybody who's familiar with cooking cactus or okra knows that you have that slime that's in there that you have to get out, and so I'm going to do that by just boiling it very, very shortly, and then that's going to go in the sauce. Now we come to the fun part, the part where I get to cut my balls up. So these are the llama testicles. This is not actually two, it's one that's been butterflied, and you can still see the membrane on the outside. We'll try to cut that off as we cut this up, and I'm going to cut it up very, very small, and then I'm going to pan fry that with these other ingredients and hopefully make a nice sauce. I'll be using some wine in there as well, and then that I'm going to pour on top of the liver when it's done. So let's go ahead and cut my balls. Now this is a lot less like chopping or cutting, and a lot more like chopping or hacking up. So I'm just going to kind of hack up my balls here till I get some small pieces that I think will be nice and easily sit on a fork in the sauce on top of the liver. Yeah, can you imagine Julia Child talking about cutting up her... Well, I've got a lovely set of balls that I'm going to cut off my balls here. So, hey, this stuff just writes itself. Okay, so here's where I make the sauce, and I'm going to use butter for two reasons. One, it's my invention. I can pretty much use whatever I want. Two, I figure it's a good way to meet Paula Deen, since she and I may be ending up going to the same cardiologist. So I'm going to brown the onions a little bit and add some garlic. And actually, the cilantro usually is better at the end to leave it, relatively fresh, but I want to flavor it a little bit with the cilantro. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some of that up and put that in there. I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in there as well. And as always, this smells as good as, if not better probably, than what I'm going to end up cooking. I hope they're Chilean grapes, they may not be. I have those, and I have the cactus that I parboiled earlier, but I'm not going to add those in until afterwards because I don't want those to cook down to mush. I want them to have a little bit of texture to them. I think it would be unforgivable not to use onions, being that I'm making a dish with liver. I also have to caution the people at home I have the slightest idea what I'm doing. Again, I'm kind of making this up as I go along, and I'm hoping that watching my mother cook as a child rubbed off on me or had some sort of effect on me, but we'll see. I think that's probably good enough to put our balls in. Now I'm going to stick my balls in the pan. This is fun. Actually, not very much like balls anymore. It's very soft and mushy. But if we get the effect of, you know, a ground beef or something like that, I think we're going to be okay. Okay, you can see that it's got a nice firm texture now. They started to firm up, and so I'm going to put in a little bit of wine. Let that soak up and permeate that, and I think depending on how this comes out, I may put a thickener in it afterwards. I'm not sure yet. Gives it a nice ballsy color. And what the hell, I'll go ahead and put in the cactus and the grapes. And I'm going to cover that and let that cook down. Okay, now it's the liver's turn, and we've come for your liver. I've actually cut it in 2 pieces, and the reason I did that was because it was, quite frankly, too big to fit in the pan. I'm just going to put a little salt on it, and nothing else. I had that pan super hot. I put some butter in there, again, because I want to meet Paula Deen, and I'm going to let that sear. Really, really good liver. You don't want to cook too long. This being a llama's liver, I want to be able to get all the taste of that. So. This is going to be great. Here's the finished product, and I'm going to take the topping I made, and I'm going to try to, as aesthetically pleasing as possible, put this over the top. I want my balls all over this. Alright, whatever. And the last spoon. There we go. And then I'm just going to top it off with a little bit of cilantro. And we're going to assume this is something that they might eat in South America. Who knows?
Thanks for checking out Trippy Food. If you enjoyed watching that video half as much as I did making it, well then I enjoyed it twice as much as you did. And if that's the case, you'll probably like this video right here. And if not, check out this video right here. That one's a little bit different. Either way, leave a comment down below. And be sure to subscribe by clicking on the Trippy Food icon right here. Glad you could make it, and we hope to see you again soon.